Alright, so what are we doing this morning? We've come to explore the radio. Okay, so this morning we're going to explore the north of the reserve. Beautiful part of Londolozi, lots of rolling hills and granite outcrops and dry riverbeds. This is the Sand River just behind me. It's kind of the barrier to entry for the north. So we've crossed the river, we're going to go a little bit along its banks to start off with, and then we're going to push further into the northern parts of the reserve. As we heard impalas alarming in the distance, the trick with working alarm calls to your advantage is you have to get there quite quickly. Because generally once a predator's been seen, especially leopards, they're like slinking back into cover, so they move off. So you've got to get there while the herbivores are still alarming, and they'll generally be looking at the predator. So they're kind of giving you a pointing signal telling you where it is. Heard a leopard calling in the distance, so we're moving to get there quite quickly. There you have it. Female leopard on the termite mound. Thank you, impala. Okay, so that's the Makumsava female, the territorial female for this area. That vocalization she was giving off, that's just a kind of a territorial rasp. It just A, announces that the area is occupied, so other females must keep away, but B, what it can do is advertise for a mate. So there's always the chance that she's in estrus. Okay, so we left the leopard going into quite a dense thicket. It's going to be a bit counterproductive following her in there. We're not going to get a great view, and we're just going to be smashing a whole lot of bushes over. So back to camp. It's getting hot now. We're going to charge batteries, empty memory cards, and then head back out a little bit later. This afternoon we've come out to the den of one of the local hyena clans. You can see a couple of little ones snoozing just behind me here, and a big female over to the right. At a den like this, what will usually happen is the females or the mothers will sleep in the bush close by during the day. Only the young ones sleep in the den itself, and then as the sun starts going down, before they head out to forage for the night, the mothers will come back and nurse their cubs and then go to look for some food themselves. So what we saw there was a fairly elaborate greeting ritual. Well, hyenas use a lot of olfactory communication. They communicate by scent, and there's a very strict hierarchy within the clan system. Whenever they greet each other, the rankings will be re-established through the scent. So a lot of that sniffing around, and we'll just be reconfirming who's who, the pecking order, and then it takes a minute or two, and then things carry on as normal.
So we put up a trail camera facing this burrow. Looks like there is fresh evidence of something going in and out.
So we've just investigated the other side of the mound, and we've realized that there's another hole on this side, and it looks like this is definitely more active than that side, so I think we're going to have to move our camera trap.
Interesting, so you can see we porcupine and warthog sharing the same burrow.
What, have you got a porcupine there?
No. Yeah, where are we going to put it next? Looks like an impala.
Just up behind me there's an impala kill hoisted in the tree. It's a big impala ram. Kill was found about an hour ago, and the guys who found it had a brief view of a male leopard disappearing into the thicket. We're in the territory of the Maxim's male, who's pretty shy. We don't see him often. There's no sign of the leopard. Almost certainly he's sleeping in the shade somewhere in the long grass. So what we're quickly doing is setting up a trail cam.
We're just setting up the angle to make sure it's pointing directly towards the trunk of the tree in which the kill is hoisted.
Okay, we're a little bit late on the beat this morning. We got delayed by some giraffe silhouettes against the dawn. It was just too nice an opportunity to miss. There's no sign of the leopard. The kill's been fed on quite extensively during the night. The rib cage is exposed now and a lot of the meat is gone. We don't hold too much hope that we'll be able to see him actually. Okay, oh, it's a hyena. Never mind. I just saw some spots moving in the bushes there. Okay, now this is a dilemma. Whoa, that's a kudu alarming just over there. Those kudu have seen something for sure. Either a lion or a leopard. Do we stay here? Do we go there? One more bark and we'll go. There we go. There's a hyena here. He's coming in to investigate. These impala behind me, they've been alarming like crazy. There's a squirrel alarming here. Something's going on here. Almost certainly there's a leopard that's passed by. We're just trying to find it. So I didn't find anything there. Didn't even find the kudu. And now I'm regretting that decision because and the fact that I've now started the vehicle again, moved out, I've got to go back to the kill now. That if the leopard was there, it might have just aggravated the situation and unsettled him a bit, and he might not want to show himself. In retrospect, bad decision, but just too much temptation. Kudu barking usually means put your foot down and go. Okay, we're going to wrap it up this morning. The kill is still up there. We've had no sign of the leopard. We've heard Franklin's alarming in the bushes. I think he might just be sneaking around, watching us, knowing we're here, not wanting to come in while we're waiting to film. But we're going to get the camera trap down later this morning, just to see if there are any photos of him going up last night. Fingers crossed, because he definitely fed there. Okay, it's pretty dark, pretty rainy, it's pretty miserable. It's been a long 2 days of tracking lions and a leopard without a whole lot of success. Coming up are a couple of the tracking highlights, but sometimes just when you think it's all over, the bush throws you a little bone. So I'll have a look here. The guys have been on these tracks for 9 hours. Exactly the kind of place the lions would like to light them. Excuse me 1 second. Getting to be the last roll of the dice here. He's pointing at the ground and I'm seeing nothing. I can't see a thing. So what's happening now is we're backtracking a bit.
Still got tracks there heading west.
Tracking lions. Most of the time you'll see a couple of heads stick up. At least that's the hope.
Where a carcass has been dragged by a predator. A hyena possibly stole the kill.
Okay everyone, we're about to lose the light, it's getting dark, but look what we've just found. It's a pack of 18 wild dogs. Okay, the rain is starting to come down, so you might get a few drops on the lens. Oh, there's a impala up ahead. I don't think the dogs have seen them. But if they do, I think they might break into a hunt very quickly. They're right on the edge of a thicket line though, so don't know if we'll be able to stay with them. Okay, the dogs have run right into the middle of a herd of elephants. So far the elephants haven't even seen them, but it'll be interesting to see what happens when they come close to this little group. Let's have a look here. How amazing was that interaction? So the dogs don't pose much of a threat to the elephants, but the ellies still recognize them as a predator, so yeah, they try and chase them away. That was very cool. I don't know how much longer we're going to stay with them. It's pretty dark, the rain's coming down, Shane. We don't want to impact their hunting by drawing attention to them. Okay, we're practically on the airstrip now. Just going to wait up ahead and race. Race up ahead and wait for them there. See if there's anything out here. I don't see any impalas. Maybe just because it's raining. Impala's running. Cheers. No, I think this is it. Right, so in the bush there are good decisions and bad decisions. A bad decision is a leopard is wandering into the sight of a 30 hyena feeding frenzy. Which is what the Mashaba female has done. She would have been almost certainly chased up there by the hyenas, but she's coming down now. So leopards can be fairly selective about the trees they climb. The one she was in is not one that normally choose to go up. It's a knobthorn tree, so called because of its defense. It grows these very sharp thorns on little knobs, which is why she was coming down so gingerly. We've lost her for the moment. She moved through a fairly dense tamboti thicket. Now we're just waiting on the other side, hoping she's still in there and coming towards us. Okay, we've come back out to the hippo carcass. To be honest, I made a video this morning from here, but the focus was all wrong, so I nipped out to redo it. And the hyenas have all gone, so it's not quite as effective as it would have been. But this is actually pretty cool being here now because of the fact they've gone. We can come in close and examine what they've done. So here is the skull. So you can see how there's pretty much no meat left whatsoever. I mean, these hyenas have completely stripped it. So I'm just trying to find a better way into the bush here to look at the skin. And this is almost the most impressive thing. It's just like an empty sack of, well, nothing if it's empty. This wasn't a particularly big hippo. It's still probably a good 800 kilograms plus. The question is what happened to it. You know, bulls are sometimes killed in territorial fights, but it doesn't really look big enough to be competing for a territory. But that being said, bulls will sometimes kill younger bulls. They get very protective over their breeding cows. It didn't look like a big enough bull to... falling over here. Didn't look like a... Jeez, there I go again. I've got a bad knee. But just have a look at the skin. I'll go in a bit closer here. So there's my finger thickness, and look how thick that skin is. So that's going to keep the zipper nice and warm even in the cold times. And that's it. There is nothing left. Nothing. I mean, a couple of small bones and tiny scraps. I nearly made the faux pas of saying, well, what's left, the hyenas will come and finish off, but they were the hyenas. So now it's just up to the decomposers and anything else that feels like scraping some tiny meat shards off bone. And in a couple of months this will all just be bleached white, lying there as a stark reminder of the harsh juxtaposition of life and death in the African bush.